When was the last time you felt like you were watching the beginning of history? Not just another match, not just another tournament, but something that's gonna define the next decade of a sport. We'll let you think about it. Now, most of you probably said what we're all thinking. Jannik Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz. We just wrapped up the 2025 US Open. And once again, it was these two names at the center of everything. Sinner wins the Australian Open, Alcaraz takes Roland Garros. Sinner conquers Wimbledon, Alcaraz steals New York. They've split the slams this year, 2 each. You can't script this stuff. And the fact that we're getting it live in real time is insane. And this rivalry might just become the greatest in tennis history. Greater than Federer Nadal, greater than Djokovic Nadal, even greater than Borg McEnroe. If both these guys stay healthy, we're looking at the rivalry that's going to define tennis for the next 10 to 15 years. And we're here to break down exactly why. But real quick, before we get carried away, if you love tennis, if you're sick of surface level coverage and you want deep dives, history, hot takes, and the kind of hype that ESPN is too scared to give you, then hit that subscribe button right now. We've got new videos dropping every week, and trust us, you don't want to miss the next one. So to understand exactly how we got here to the end of 2025 Slam season, let's rewind to the first time Alcaraz and Sinner played at the Paris Masters. Alcaraz was still just a teenager, and Sinner was this quietly rising Italian with a big game and almost no emotions on court. Alcaraz won that first battle, and people noticed, but no one could have predicted what was coming. Fast forward to Wimbledon 2022, Alcaraz was the flashy phenom, Sinner was steady, and they collided in the fourth round. Sinner actually took him out in 4 sets, which was a huge shock at the time. That was the first real signal, okay, maybe this guy Sinner is not just another victim in Alcaraz's highlight reel. And then came the match, the 2022 US Open quarterfinal. 5 sets, 5 hours, one of the latest finishes in tournament history. Alcaraz saving a match point, pulling off Houdini-level escapes, and eventually winning in one of the greatest matches of the 21st century. That was the night everyone realized this isn't just 2 great young players. This is the rivalry of the future. Since then, they've traded wins across hard courts, clay, and grass. Alcaraz got him back at Indian Wells. Sinner struck in Miami. Alcaraz kept winning slams, but Sinner quietly built his ranking, climbing into the top 5, and now, this year, it's come all together. 4 slams, 4 trophies, 2 for each. It's not just balanced, it's perfectly balanced, almost like Thanos himself scripted it. Now, rivalries aren't just about results. They're about contrast. They're about clash of styles, identity. And Sinner versus Alcaraz delivers that better than anyone. Alcaraz is chaos, he's raw, electricity, he's drop shots from the baseline, forehands that bend physics, and a willingness to try literally anything in the middle of a point. Watching him is like watching a highlight reel in real time. Sinner, he's precision, machine-like baseline power, unshakable in demeanor. You could set off fireworks next to him and he wouldn't even blink. His ground strokes are like laser beams, and when he's locked in, it feels like he's coding the match like it's a computer program. It's the perfect clash, the flamboyant artist versus the stoic assassin. And every time they meet, you know you're getting fireworks. Not just great tennis, but the kind of tennis that pushes the sport forward. Now, don't get us wrong. The rivalries of the past are incredible. Federer, Nadal, Djokovic, Nadal, Borg, McEnroe, and we're not disrespecting those rivalries by any means. Federer and Nadal gave us probably the greatest contrasting styles in the lefty versus righty, grass versus clay, elegance versus grind styles. And Djokovic and Nadal was a true war of attrition. 30-shot rallies that felt like survival contests. And we all know Borg McEnroe, ice versus fire. Cool Scandinavian versus hot-headed American. But here's the difference. Those rivalries did come with gaps. Federer dominated grass, Nadal dominated clay, Djokovic eventually dominated everything. But Alcaraz and Sinner? Well, they're splitting trophies evenly on every surface. Think about that. Australian Open to Sinner, French Open to Alcaraz, Wimbledon to Sinner, US Open to Alcaraz, grass, clay, hard, both of them winning everywhere. It's somewhat unprecedented. 2 slams each, perfect balance, a rivalry written by the tennis gods. Now let's talk about rivals, because one of the reasons Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic are so revered is that they didn't just dominate. They dominated each other. But here's why we think Sinner and Alcaraz have an edge. Their rivals are each other. Period. There's no big 3 standing in their way anymore. Medvedev, Zverev, Tsitsipas, they're great players, but they're not legendary. The rivalry is pure, distilled down to 2 men trading blows at the top. Not even Novak can get to that level anymore. And when you compare their head-to-head battles to what Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic went through, the level is already ridiculous. And they're so young to bat. Federer didn't really even reach his peak until his mid-20s. Djokovic didn't become a monster until 2011. These guys are already here, already winning slams, already splitting them evenly. That's why we think in 10 or 15 years, when we look back, this rivalry will stand above all the others. So, here's the take. This is the greatest rivalry in the making. It might not yet be bigger than Federer, Nadal, or Djokovic, Nadal. But if these 2 stay healthy, if they keep pushing each other, it will be. Because it's not just about who wins. It's about what they're doing to tennis itself. Alcaraz is dragging the sport into highlight reel culture. Sinner is proving that cold precision can stop raw chaos. And together, they're making every tournament they enter must-watch television. And the best part? We're still in the early chapters. They've only met about a dozen times. Federer and Nadal played 40 times. Djokovic and Nadal played 59 times. We've got decades of battles ahead. If this is what year 3 of their rivalry looks like, imagine year 10. Imagine a Wimbledon final that goes 12-10 in the 5th. Imagine another French Open showdown where both guys already have 3 Roland Garros titles. Imagine a US Open where the entire city of New York is split between Sinner's ice and Alcaraz's fire. This isn't hype. It's inevitability. So, will Sinner and Alcaraz be the greatest rivalry in tennis history? Well, we think so. They've already split the biggest prizes in the sport evenly. They've already given us epic classics. And they're only getting started. We're watching history unfold in real time. And if you blink, you're gonna miss it. But what do you think? Is this the greatest rivalry? Or are we overstepping our boundaries? Let us know in the comments below. See you next time.